Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Paul Peters is with us. Welcome.
Thanks, Ron. Great to be back.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by. Oh, I'm supposed to push the button.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. This is an interesting one, National Potato Day. That looks like a potato head, Josh. You might can tell you got kids. Little ones, Mr. Potato Head, what's it? Siskel and Ebert. I don't know if you follow the magicians. They're Josh probably knows them because they're in Vegas all the time. Isn't it Siskel and Ebert? They're the two magicians out there. Okay, maybe that's the movie guys. But the big tall guy and the little guy that doesn't talk. Whatever it is. So yeah, that's the reason I bring them up. Penn and Teller, you're right. Okay. Penn is the big guy, right? Okay. So Penn went on he wrote a book about it, the potato diet. So all he ate was potatoes. And he lost, I don't know, massive amount of weight, 40, 50, 60 pounds, something like that. Just eating potatoes. So I tried it. You know, I'm a fat guy, so I've tried every diet there is in the world. I am an expert when it comes to diets. So he had this potato diet, and one of the things I noted, now you can't put sour cream and butter and chives and bacon. Doesn't work too well if you do that. But, if you start eating potatoes, number one, they fill you up. And number two, you start getting developing after a few days. You can tell the taste between I don't know the names, a russet potato and a white potato and a yam and a little potato. They all have distinct flavors. So if you haven't tried that one, now to me, the easiest thing is the shot that I'm taking. Just because I don't work out a lot, I go and I do some walking. I know it's good for me. I know I should be doing more resistance training, but I'm about 82 pounds, 83 pounds right now. So rsrlinks.com/shot if you want more information. It's a pretty simple thing. Let's move right along. Today's also National Soft Ice Cream Day. How do we go from talking about a potato and a diet to soft ice cream? Because we don't set these things. These are just national days. Soft ice cream. Is soft ice cream really an ice cream? I don't think so, but it tastes good, so who cares? And Josh put on here the vanilla. I'm probably sure that's if you're watching us again on RonSiegelRadio.tv, I'm sure that's the most common, but I'm just a chocolate guy, so if it comes in chocolate, I'm happy. National Soft Ice Cream Day. Let's move it right along. Let's see what's going on in the markets today. Let's see. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average down a point. I guess we could probably just say ho-hum. Doesn't mean a whole heck of a lot. I don't think that's the right ho-hum, but that's a different story. The NASDAQ is down 225 points. The S&P 500 is down 24. Oil's down another 96 cents a barrel. Okay, I don't even know if I want to look at it, but I will just because I like you. So we're looking at the national average of a gallon of gasoline today, $3.13 a gallon, $3.13. In Gavins, California, we're at $4.49 a gallon. Isn't it crazy? And this guy wants to be president so he can screw up the rest of the country like he's done California. The memes that are coming out, because Texas out there, they're trying to follow suit with California, and Gavin doesn't realize the people of the state of California have already realized that the politicians are a bunch of idiots. Yes, most of them.
Such an idiot.
And we take away their power. So Gavin's saying, okay, Texas, if you're going to gerrymander, we're going to do the same thing. They already did. We're going to do the same thing. But the people in the state of California said, we don't want politicians setting our boundaries. We want an independent council to do it. And it had like a 70% win rate or popularity when this went through the legislature. And it's going to have a 70% again, but in the broke state of California. Now, and we are broke. We're like 14, I think our current budget is about $13 billion deficit. So what is Gavin going to do now? He's going to spend $235 million on a special election. We're $11.8 billion is our budget deficit. And we're going to spend $235 million on a special election for Gavin's gerrymandering. Does that make sense to anybody? And if you look at the polls right now, there's a 69% against rate on Gavin's gerrymandering. You just got to love California. If it moves, we tax it. If it doesn't move, we tax it. If you're thinking about it, we tax it. And I say all the time, I like talking to Josh because he lives in America. We're in Calizuela. Paul, where are you at today? Are you in Texas? You in Carolinas? Where are you at?
For the next 4 hours, I'm in Texas. Then I'm heading to North Carolina.
So you're in America.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't even want to look, but I'm going to just fun of it. So I'm looking at as a whole, average price of a gallon of gasoline in Texas, $2.76 a gallon.
Yeah.
And we're over here at $4.50 a gallon.
Wow.
Josh is in the top 10 highest prices. You're probably what, 340, 350? Unbelievable. But thanks, Gavin. Hey, those of you that are thinking about the presidential elections of 2028, Gavin wants to run to do to you what he's done to us. Just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, best-selling author Paul Peters is with us. We're going to chat about AI. I wonder if I could be a best-selling author then too. I don't know. We'll talk about it. And the $199 a month mortgage rate secret no one talks about. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564, complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/mobile app. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. And every day at this time, OBMMI. They provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry. Calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or the APR. They tell us the number you need to put in your mortgage calculator to find out what your principal and interest payment will be. Don't have a mortgage calculator? Shame on you. rsrlinks.com/mobile app. Rates yesterday. It's the latest data we have because the day today is not up yet. Most of them were up yesterday. Conventional 30-year fixed up 6.59%. Jumbo 30-year fixed 6.762. That was up. FHA 30-year fix. That was the Lone Ranger. It was the only one that was down, 6.322. VA 30-year fix, 6.178. That was up. And the USDA 30-year fix, 6.405. That one was up. What's going on in the markets? Well, if you want our report, we put it out each morning, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. It is a community we've set up just for the Ron Siegel Radio listeners, rsrlinks.com/HBOD. We put that market report in there. The Dow Jones is now up 11, the NASDAQ down 254, S&P down 227. And we're looking at the the 10-year Treasury. That one is up 2.5 basis points, 4.311. And we've got the mortgage-backed security. That's the bond. The bond is up 3 basis points. Remember, when the bond goes up, the rates go down. It's not moving hardly at all, so it doesn't really even matter. But I will tell you, one of the things that you look at here is you got to know who you're talking to. Because I'm looking at a chart right now, and I have it on my screen all the time. If I look at a 30-year fixed rate for Mortgage News Daily, they say it's 6.59. I told you already that OBMMI, they shared with us 6.59. Freddie Mac says 6.58. The Mortgage Bankers Association says 6.67. So you see, every place you go, you're going to find a different rate. So don't worry about what all these different rates say, because that's not your rate, because they don't put into account what your unique circumstances are. So just be aware of that. What's driving rates this morning? Well, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent spoke on CNBC this morning, said that he will be interviewing 11 candidates for the next Fed chair, either right before or right after Labor Day, and then we'll begin to narrow down the list to present to President Trump. Also asked about the hot producer price index report, and he brought up an interesting point, saying that a big component of the rise was investment services, which goes up when asset prices rise. Of course, there was a tariff impact in there as well. The Zillow Rental Index reported that blended rates in July fell from 2.9% to 2.6% year over year. We've been seeing deceleration, but the figures in CPI and PCE, much higher. Biggest reason is the BLS is using guesswork. Have we talked about that one before?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, back again with those imputed figures. Owner's equivalent rent is at 4.1%. And when adjusted versus the Zillow numbers and applying the weighting in the CPI, core CPI is overstated by 0.5%. That means that core CPI would actually be 2.6% instead of 3.1%. Much, much better. Applying the same formula to core PCE and using the weighting, core PCE is overstated by 0.2%. That would be at 2.6% instead of 2.8%. Are you listening, Jerome?
Such an idiot.
Both of the year-over-year core inflation readings at 2.6% also include some impact of the tariffs. Hard to measure. Bottom line, if the BLS wants to get the inflation numbers correct, they have to start using real-time data and less imputed data. We hope that E.J. Antony can make some adjustments so we can get more accurate figures. We don't want them to be partisan. We want them to be accurate. Housing starts and permits. The permits for the most forward-looking supply indicator fell almost 3% last month. Continue to trend lower to the lowest reading of the year. All of the decline was in multifamily, with single family up a modest 0.5%. Housing starts increased 5% to 1.43 million, but most of the gain was in multifamily. The single family starts level is the second lowest of the year and points to limited supply coming to market from new construction front in the future. Completions rose 6% with all of the gain coming from single family. This should help with a bit more single family supply in the near future. There's a lot of pent up demand and people on the sidelines waiting for rates to come down. If the Fed cut rates, mortgage rates will, if the Fed cuts rates and mortgage rates fall, which they may or may not, there will be a lot more demand. The National Association of Home Builders sentiment report stabilized around 32 the last few months, which is weak figure. And in contraction, traffic increased 2 points to 22, but from anemic levels. Builders' biggest challenges are elevated mortgage rates, weak buyer traffic, and ongoing supply side challenges. They said that affordability is the biggest challenge and builders are pushing for the Fed cut. Now, if you watched our broadcast yesterday, you would know that we discussed affordability in a tremendous way. And we actually even showed you a method that, one family is getting a 5.375 interest rate, 30 years fixed rate. I don't have the APR. If you want to get all the specifics, rsrlinks.com/buydown, rsrlinks.com/buydown. And we did that in yesterday's broadcast as well. So you can go back and watch our presentation. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at rsrlinks.com/mobile app, rsrlinks.com/mobile app. So let's chat. Let's learn. Best-selling author Paul Peters is with us. Good morning, Paul.
Morning, Ron.
So are you writing another book? Is that, or were you just studying on the AI?
No, I'm not going to write a book on AI. It's I'm not I'm not the person to do that. I'm the one that's going to be using AI, hopefully in preparation for more books that I'm going to be writing. So,
I want to just throw something out there, and sometimes I get harebrained schemes, Paul. So I'm going to throw it at you live as I think about it. But I've been I'm a big proponent of AI, and it all has to do, you can use it as the next Google, or you can use it as a research assistant, or you can use it as a virtual assistant, all depending upon how in depth you want to get. But Paul, you and I have chatted in past broadcasts that we've got a mutual affinity in the special world of special needs and helping folks that have special needs. And I'm just wondering, if I were to put in a diagnosis or some level of background of an individual, a 31-year-old male in Orange County, California, with XYZ diagnoses and symptoms, and then put that into deep research and said, can you tell me what services are available in Orange County, California, and where might I get them for this individual? Do you think I would come back with anything of value?
Oh, most definitely. It's interesting. My one of my services that I did when I started the company was called a community navigator or case manager. And that's what we did. We found resources for families. And so now AI allows the family to go ahead and go to the internet, put the right questions. And we talked about the prompt, what you ask it, you'll get from it. And you can actually get that information from the internet without having to hire somebody to do it. So it's very efficient means of getting answers, specifically in the disability community.
But the trick there, I think, was in part of your sentence, is you have to have the right prompt.
Correct. Yes.
Right. So you have to have a little bit of knowledge of what you need or looking for, because I think so many people right now are just saying, I'm going to put what services are available for my child. Not going to get the right answer there. So how do you find those right prompts?
Well, it's just like, for example, if somebody's setting a goal, I want to go to Alaska, you have to be very specific as to where you want to go. And then the prompts will basically go deeper and deeper. I kind of liken it to Alice in Wonderland. You can go as deep as you want. And so when you're asking the right prompts, then you're going to get the answers you're asking for. But if it's very general, then you'll get very general answers. So I think people need to be educated on the use of AI. That's the whole thing right there. And ironically enough, one of the things I like the most is because, I'm in radio. So what radio people do best is repurpose. I just go in there and ask AI, what do you need from me to give me the right answer, to do this research? Yeah. Right. That's another portion of what we can do, right? Correct. What are your, it'll take you as deep as you want to go, which is very interesting because you may not have the knowledge of what you're researching, but the AI does. And so that's where you ask the right questions and it will give you the answers. It's almost like going and getting a 4-year college degree because it's going to give you the answers that you need. Now, how do you verify that the answer is a correct answer and not a hallucination? Well, part of it is you got to do your own research. I would definitely recommend you vet the potential people who are going to be training or teaching you or your company on that to make sure that they're legitimate. And I think once you do that, you can kind of cross-reference to see if what the information is legitimate.
So I had I was sitting and chatting with somebody over the weekend, and my comment was I like the 10-80-10 rule of AI. So I know 10% of what I want, and I feed that into my AI, and I use several of them, so it's not just one. Let AI do 80% of the work, and then I've got to do the final 10% to do verification and smoothing and make it look like me. And are you doing something like that, or do you have a better solution?
Well, kind of like that. I mentioned to you earlier, I was at a conference, and one of the speakers was an organization called Delphi. They focus on digital cloning, which is basically taking your information content, your voice, your video, all of that, and they put it together almost as if it is you, but it's in digital. So to give you an example, so once it's all completed, somebody can call me, they will hear my voice, they can ask questions of me, I will answer as if I'm really me. And so, I mean, that's the depth of the technology of where they're going with this. And like I said, we're just at the very beginning part of what AI will be able to do for us.
Yeah, when we were getting ready for the broadcast, I was saying that I had a meeting with somebody yesterday, and they said that their constituency says that they're about done with AI. And I just laughed, because how could anybody be done with an infant? Right? It's so new. We're going to continue this conversation with Paul Peters when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, at ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams, or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ. and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. You know what happened over the past few weeks that caught everyone's attention? Mortgage rates hit their lowest point of the year, and suddenly everyone was talking about it. I am Ron Siegel, certified liability advisor, helping people build wealth through strategic debt management. Here's what you need to understand about mortgage rates, and this applies whether you're buying your first home or looking to refinance. Even a small change in rates can make a significant difference in your monthly payment. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Take a $600,000 home loan at 7%, your monthly payment, $3,992 a month. Drop that rate just a quarter point to 6.75, and your payment becomes $3,892, saving you over $100 every month. Go down another quarter point to 6.5, and now you're at $3,792, saving you almost $200 monthly compared to that 7% rate. Now, here's where it gets interesting. What if you took that $200, actually $199 monthly savings, and applied it as an additional principal payment to your 6.5% mortgage? You'd be making the same payment as the 7% loan, but now you're paying off your mortgage 4 years earlier. Yeah, 48 months sooner to be exact. That's moving from a 30-year loan to a 26-year loan just by redirecting your savings rates. And here's the kicker. By making that additional principal payment, your effective interest rate drops to 5.47%. You're paying 6.5%, but mathematically, reality of paying down principal faster gives you the equivalent benefit of a 5.47% rate. But here's what most people miss, and this is where strategy beats rate always. It's not just about mortgage rate. What matters is your household blended interest rate. If you're carrying credit card debt at 24% while getting a mortgage at 6.5%, the math tells us a different story about where your focus should be. The mortgage rate is only one part of the conversation. What's really important is how much money is actually coming out of your household budget each month across all your debts. While major drops in mortgage rates aren't projected for the rest of 2025, smaller declines are still expected depending on where the economy goes from here. But remember, timing the market perfectly isn't the strategy. Having a plan that works for your complete financial picture is. Whether you're looking to buy or refinance, the key is understanding how small changes in rate affects your cash flow and your ability to build wealth through strategic debt management. For a complete analysis of how current rates impact your specific situation, go to rsrlinks.com/2step. Give us your information. Watch the video in there on some of our strategies to see how the two-step equity strategy can work for you. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation, we are chatting with best-selling author Paul Peters, chatting about AI, and hey, we're getting some inside scoop because he went to the conference. We don't have to, but we can still learn from him. Hi, Paul.
Hey, Ron.
So tell me your top 2 or 3 takeaways from the conference.
Well, one is it's interesting. I actually heard these folks from Delphi speak before, so it's kind of hit my brain to think, okay, if, we all get very busy, and I know you having your own show, is if you could buy time and be able to replicate yourself or clone yourself, you could get more accomplished. And that was very intriguing for me, where if they can take my information, my content, my shows, everything I've done, and basically recreate me. So if I'm too busy in one meeting, somebody can call me, or I can be on a meeting and I can answer with my clone as if I'm actually on the meeting. And to me, it's like, wow, that is so cool. And so I think that is very intriguing to see how much advanced AI is not only now, but will be become. Because take the internet back in the 80s or whenever it came to be, where we're at now. And so we're looking at the very beginning of something that's going to transform the world. So
it is amazing. And you know, I'm glad that they're starting to put some safeguards into some of the AI too, because could you imagine if your image and likeness and voice gets hijacked somewhere, right? It could cause some serious problems, especially in your world where you helping special needs individuals. The correct information is essential. And if somebody wants to use it for nefarious purposes, it could be devastating.
correct. You think about the power of social media where people can be falsely accused of something and it's not even them, it's an AI. And so it's very dangerous if it's in the right, just like a weapon in the hands of the wrong person is going to create problems. A weapon in the right hands is going to save somebody's life. And I think that's very important for folks to understand. AI is just a tool, just like everything else. But if it's used properly, it can be transformational.
And I agree with you. We're right there on such an early level of it that, you know, it's amazing that we don't even know what is capable. I mean, I'm sure you're about the same age as me, Paul, but you remember the Jetsons, right? When we were kids, the cartoon. Okay, Josh, don't laugh at us. The Jetsons. You'd hear about these flying helicopters and flying taxis, and now they've got them in New York.
Yeah. So
what's AI going to do, and where are we going to head with AI, with all of these things? And I love the idea because I've talked on the broadcast. I get up about 4 every morning to start prepping for the show, and I can do a lot of research with putting in the correct prompts and get a lot of good data to share with our audience.
Yeah.
So how are you using it? And when you're talking about it for business purposes, for business people, what do you see as some of the biggest benefits for a business person?
Well, I'll tell you, it's interesting. When I was doing my research on this, the careers that are going to be affected are manufacturing, customer service, and administrative. And so, but for me, for example, as a business owner, one of the things that I'm striving for is efficiency. Unfortunately, when you work with humans, you're going to have inefficiency. And I think that's where the advantage is for an employee. How can they make their company more productive, more efficient with the use of AI? It is going to affect some folks depending on what their career choice is. But the key is using AI that's going to make your company more efficient, cost saving, but not necessarily lose your people. Because the one thing that AI can't do is that human element, that touch. And so there's going to be somewhat of a change in careers as people who are in those that AI is going to be replacing. And I think that's the biggest concern. But right now, I don't know if your audience has ever seen the movie AI with Will Smith. The problem with AI in the movie, what they basically had their own brain, and they were able to make choices apart from the creator. And that's where it becomes, when you add in the emotions that we mess with us, creates problems. That's where people are concerned about the AI, not only taking jobs, but what happens if they get humanized and they get angry and they do all these things? That's where the scare tactic is.
Yeah, I can certainly understand that. But something, I look at some of the things I just look and say, I know that I send, you look at having to do accounting things. And I would certainly think that AI, you could throw in a whole bunch of different invoices and get it to sort them and create, help with some of the accounting that's, pretty basic stuff. Now, I wouldn't want it to go writing my checks for me or anything like that. But, those are some of the efficiencies, but the individual has to be, like I said, giving it that 10%, the input, and then the final 10%, checking those outputs.
Correct.
Go ahead.
I think that's the key is you've got to make sure the information is high integrity, because if there's a compromise on that integrity, i.e. truth, whatever information you have in there, it's going to be skewed. I think that's the potential danger. It's only as good as the information in there.
Now, do you think you're going to be able to use it with your TV show, or is it going to, how might you even be using it?
Well, right now I'm just using it for research. So I'm gathering information on different things that I don't have to spend hours in researching or my assistant doing. It allow me to get the information needed so I can get on a show, or because I plan on, like yourself, doing more shows. It allows me to really expedite the preparation.
So you can just come up with a thought process. Now, I know that I don't know all of them. I haven't gone to as many conferences. I've gone through one or two, but one of the things that I've found that's pretty intriguing to me is I can actually have a conversation with, I did it with ChatGPT. I had a conversation with it over a course of 3 or 4 days and then said, okay, now give me a summary. So an action plan, which translated into an action plan for Josh. But, those are the things that we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
How do you foresee using it? So one of the businesses I know that you have is the one you talked about a little bit, that helping special needs individuals.
Yes.
How do you foresee it helping that clientele or your business there?
Well, I mean, I think you started it off. It's just, if somebody has a particular need, and the key is education. And if they have that education, we can guide and direct them to get the information they need. We deal with a lot with folks who aging parents and their children are needing a place to live. So it provides that information in particular areas all over North Carolina and eventually all over the U.S. So it provides that needed information and really connects the dots a lot quicker than people say, I don't know where to go. I don't know how to do this. So a lot of our folks who have disabilities need to get onto Medicaid. You can simply get in there, AI, and it'll walk you through the whole process.
Have you done it yet?
I have done it, yeah.
And were the results? Were you satisfied with the results when you did it?
Oh, very much so. Now it's just a matter of teaching our families how to do that. I mean, we don't mind answering the questions, but a lot of times they're waiting on us to get them the answers. And we're actually going to be doing a workshop on how to access AI to get information related to your child.
Wow. And when they're talking about the idea of it taking jobs, and you already addressed that a little bit, I'm going to submit that you've talked about that you service the North Carolina area, but with the AI information, you could probably even expand your business because, now you can be just as knowledgeable in South Carolina as you are in North Carolina.
Right. It opens the door to expansion. Correct.
Yeah, it's a fascinating world. And I think you hit it, the analogy perfect when you talk about, AI is to tomorrow what the internet is to today.
Yes.
Fascinating. We're going to continue our conversation with Paul Peters when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free, rsrlinks.com/debt-free. 2 tools that you need to have if you want to be, getting more efficient. We might have to run these things through AI, Josh, to see how they might enhance what we're telling everybody. But we've got 2 different tools. Number one, do the 2-step, rsrlinks.com/2-step. If you've got real estate, you've got equity, you've got debts, the 2-step is for you. As part of that, that's where we're going to go and do a debt consolidation, either using home equity or unsecured debt to try and consolidate your debt, improve your cash flow. That way, 6 months from now, we're going to see an improvement in your credit scores. Hopefully, we'll see improvements in interest rates, hopefully, and we'll get you into a longer-term debt solution. And we always put that in there with an option that has no lender fees. Now, you might say, Ron, no lender fees, huh? Yeah, of course. That may not be the right option for you, but we put it in there so you know what you're looking at. With the idea of getting your credit scores enhanced, rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. Costs you nothing to watch the video, and it costs you nothing to do the actions that we tell you in there. And 95% of the people who have used credit cards are paying them the wrong way when it comes to FICO scoring purposes. And if you're the guy that says, or gal that says, Ron, I get the bill and I pay it as soon as I get it, I pay it in full. Congratulations, you're one of the 95% that's paying it the wrong way for FICO scoring purposes. rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. That's Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by rsrlinks.com/debt-free, rsrlinks.com/debt-free. Continuing our conversation, best-selling author Paul Peters is with us. We're chatting about AI. We're chatting about business. We're chatting about small business expansion. The only thing we haven't talked about is your books. What's the latest book, Paul?
Well, I'm working on trying to finish a book called The Inheritance. It's a fiction based on a gentleman that finds his purpose and then leaves his inheritance to his kids. Condition is they've got to find their purpose, and he puts them through various tests. And then I've got another book I'm writing called The Purpose Code that's hopefully getting both of them coming out around Christmas time.
Wow, that the first one you said there sounds so interesting to me, just because we've had estate and trust attorneys come on the program, and we don't talk about it from the aspect that you're talking about, from the purpose, but just from the fundamentals and how many people create a trust and never fund them, or they have it done wrong, or they set it up when they've got young kids, and they leave their house to the kids, and now they got a problem because kids can't enter into contracts. So, and now I don't know about North Carolina. California, obviously, we like to tax everything. So, if the trust isn't done the right way and the property goes in and the estate goes into probate, now you got a big expense.
Yeah.
So, are you touching on those things in the book, or is it more of the story?
Well, it's interesting. I'm going to answer it in 2 ways. So one of the things that I did when I set up my company is I brought on an attorney. She actually is one of our staff. She does what is called alternate family living, where she has a child with a disability that lives with her. She is an estate attorney. So we actually, pro bono for our families, we have them go through conversations with her to prepare for, which is the trust, a will, all of those things. So we prepare our families, no cost to them, to ensure that they're properly prepared. I've had 2 family members who passed away, left their money to their disabled child, which of course, that creates a big old mess. So we really try to be proactive on that. And relating to the book, he ends up passing away. He's a billionaire. But so what, and you probably heard about this many times. Families do not prepare the people they're leaving their money to how to handle that money. Part of the test that he's going to run his grandkids through is how do you prepare? How do you handle money? Basically, it helps them develop the character needed to be able to truly earn that money and be able to use it responsibly. And that's a key element that I think is very important. If you're going to leave money to your children or grandchildren, family members, make sure they're prepared and trained in how to use it properly.
Yeah, that's a very, very important part. And I know, a lot of people don't do it the way you're suggesting there, which I think is a great way.
Yeah.
But I have had many families that just say, because they've never thought of what you're suggesting. But I have many families that have said, okay, I'm going to give a third of it when they're 30, a third at 40, and a third at 50. And if they can't figure it out by that time, oh, well, that's their problem. Right. I mean, it's an interesting dilemma, and when you tie it into the special needs world, that opens up a whole nother level of knowledge that you need to deal with.
Yeah.
Are you using AI in it at all?
We will be. I'm going to be working with my attorney on that for those situations. So yes.
So it's going to be out around Christmas time. How do we keep track of when it comes out?
I will. They can find me on paulpeters.online. We will be putting out information as to when it's going to be released.
paulpeters.online.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't. There's got so many of these different suffixes now. Can't even figure out all of them. We go to Paul Peters Online. Do we have that on the screen there, Josh, somewhere? Paul Peters Online. Okay. Well, you can call us at 800-306-1990. We know where to find Paul. So we've got that opportunity as well. You've got other books that you've done though, haven't you?
Yeah. My first one was Discovering and Embracing Your Life Purpose. Second one was The Ways of Wisdom. And then the third one I co-wrote with Jack Canfield, which is Success Redefined.
So you're going to end up having 5 by the end of this year.
Yes.
Whew. Now, is the plane trip from Dallas to North Carolina, is that your writing time? I mean, writing, TV, running a business, you're a busy guy.
Yes, very.
Get a little peace and quiet on the plane, I would assume.
That's what I usually do. I take a nap.
Oh, you take a nap. Okay. It's interesting stuff. So, I'm just fascinated by how people are using the AI in this world, just because there's so much to it, and the efficiencies that you can get out of it. Now, I don't know, I guess I would assume not handwrite it, but type yourself, or do you what is the methodology one uses to write a book?
Well, my first 3, actually, I had to get away. I do a lot of my writing at the beach. It's very calming for me. And actually what I would start do is I'd put these big old pieces of paper, I'd brainstorm with the ideas, then I'd formulate them into the content. And then I sat down at the computer and started writing.
How long does it take you to do a book?
About 3 to 4 months. My first and second one took that long.
Interesting. And are your books on Amazon, or do you do them by yourself?
Yeah, they're on Amazon.
Interesting. What's your favorite part of the writing or the process? Is it, or the business? Is it the books? Is it the business, or is it all merged?
Favorite part of writing is finishing it. It's interesting. I actually made my first book into an Audible, and it was so cool to listen, because I actually hired a person to speak it. He was, I believe, from Australia. And it was so cool to hear my writing being spoken to by somebody else. I literally had tears, because I was like, wow, this is amazing. That this something was once a dream is now a reality. That's hopefully is blessing a lot of people.
So that poses another question then is, do you anticipate on the next books, one, are you going to do them in Audible? Because people like me that don't read, I love to listen to books when I walk. And do you think that you'll have to hire somebody to do it, or will AI be able to do it?
Interesting question. I'm going to look into that. I did hire somebody for the first book. The last book I did the Audible myself, which I'm just waiting for that to be finished. So I have a couple different options. I have to see how I sound on Audible. But the last one I did myself.
Yeah, it's fascinating how that is, because I think it was, we had someone come in here, and I think it was Steve Sims when he came in, and he had to audition to record his own Audible book. It was, I think it was Steve. It might have been somebody else, but I think it was Steve. And it was fascinating that he had to audition because the publishers said, they want it to be done a certain way if they're going to publish it. And it was fascinating that, when he said he had to do it, and he said, who are you going to get to have my voice? And unfortunately, Steve's not with us anymore, but it was a fascinating conversation. But I wish you a lot of luck on the 2 new books. I can't wait to see your favorite part of them. They're finished, and we'll have to get you back on to chat about them at that time. If you want more information about Paul Peters and his books and his businesses and what he's doing, again, all you have to do is give us a call at 800-306-1990, and we know how to reach him. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.